Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Mike's Your Man, where we talk about real estate and things that I like to do in the Kansas City / Lee's Summit area. When buying a home, it's definitely a process. One of the steps in the process that sometimes gets overlooked is insurance. So today I had a quick conversation with Jason Langston, who owns one of the farmers insurance agencies here in town. So hope you'll enjoy. So Jason, good morning. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out to talk to us a little bit about insurance. I get a lot of questions about insurance, and as you know, I just pass them on to my trusted experts out in the field.
Yes.
But specifically for first-time home buyers who maybe had renter's insurance, maybe have had no insurance whatsoever.
Okay.
What's important about why do they need homeowners insurance, and what's important there?
So I always tell people it's important that you manage things kind of like your credit.
Okay.
Insurance companies look at people as a risk, just like your credit score is like determines your risk for lending money or borrowing money. So insurance companies are going to look at things, and this is the same for auto insurance and business insurance, all kinds of insurance, but do you pay your bills? All of those kind of financial things are important these days. Used to be, how old are you? Do you have any accidents or claims and things like that? But it's very sophisticated now to where people are evaluated by all kinds of credit measures and things like that. So I always tell people that's going to be a huge factor in the process, just like when they're going to probably look at a mortgage.
So let's back up here. So that's how I assume pricing is determined on risk, but what physically is homeowners insurance?
Okay, yeah. So, if you're going to borrow money on a home,
Right, which they do.
you are going to have to insure the building, because the lender is going to say, hey, if something happens, this thing burns to the ground, I want to protect my loan.
Okay.
So you're protecting your house from catastrophic events or accidents and things like that. So that could be the big things like fire and tornado and hailstorms to roofs. That's the majority of things that we see around here. Someone breaks in, theft of your stuff. So homeowners is a package of all kinds of things. Majority of it being your property, your belongings, but also liability, and coverages that if you have something happen and you have to stay somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Coverages like that.
Okay. So and that the rate for that protection is based on all those things we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Jason, here's one that's always confused me. Can you explain the difference between actual cash value versus replacement cost value?
Yeah, so this is a big one that we tell folks that you got to be careful and look at your policy or look at your quote for things like ACV, actual cash value, RC or replacement cost. You always want replacement cost. ACV means they're going to give you depreciated value. So think of a car. Cars are typically insured by ACV. What is a 2012 Hyundai worth? That's what you're paid if it's total. A house, you don't want paid for your roof that's 5-10 years old, that's ruined by hail. You don't want to be given, it's a 20-year roof, so we're gonna give you half of what it costs to replace it.
Ooh, okay.
So instead of you getting $10,000 to replace your roof, they mark it down and give you $5,000 less your deductible, and you're left holding the bag. So we tell people, So you look for ACV or actual cash value, both on contents and your building. Some carriers even put it on just the roof. They may say they're not going to give you replacement costs on the roof. So those are big things. So it may be cheaper. It is cheaper.
Of course it would be.
Yeah, but you don't want to see ACV. No good.
Okay, Jason, and then I've been fortunate enough to buy some homes for some clients, and age of home seems to be a factor on insurance rates? How does the age of the home, how is that calculated?
Yeah,
As it
so
relates to insurance.
kind of like we talked earlier, they're going to look at the person, whether it's financial. I mean, it's statistically, people that maintain good financial health are better risks, don't have less claims. But also things like if you have an older home, it's more susceptible to claims. Things go wrong, pipes burst, things are older and things can happen. So the newer the construction, it's usually a better rate. And then when you get in, other than that, it's really just a pricing consideration. Other than some companies are gonna not like, over 100-year-old homes, or they're gonna wanna inspect it to make sure there's not old electrical wiring or something like that. So you could have an old home that's totally updated, that's gonna be fine, but yeah, age of home is a factor.
We see that a lot in the market today, where homes are being just gutted and repaired or remodeled and made brand new, to the extent you can make a 100-year-old home brand new.
Yes, and sometimes it's good to have, if you have the permit copies or replacement of the HVAC system or plumbing, all that's good for your insurance. So if you have that stuff, you can provide that to your agent. Usually it affects your price too.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. I always tell realtors, if you ever wanted me to do this, I can take a property and look and see what kind of claims history is on it. What you don't want to have is, and it should be in the seller's disclosure, but anything in the last 5 years that's been claimed on that house, there could have been a water claim or something, and they get to the step where they've made an offer and they're trying to insure it, and they find out, oh crap, these people had 2 claims within the last 3 years. Now that my company doesn't want it.
And in reality, as you relate to seller's disclosure, is one of the things that just are wild cards in our business, because you buy that house, you do all this work to it, and you put on your seller's. How long have you owned the home? One of the first questions. 3 months. Have you had any problems? Nope.
No.
Nope. 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 Have you ever lived in the house? No. Yeah. And that's puts all the risk on us to check the house out.
Yeah.
And obviously in an insurance world, it puts a risk on you guys.
Yeah, because companies may look 3 to 5 years back.
Yeah. Okay.
On what's happened there.
Okay. Jason, can we talk a little bit about homeowners insurance as it relates to personal property?
Okay. So included in that homeowner's package, you get a certain limit of contents, personal property, which is covered everywhere. So a lot of people think that's just at your house, but on most policies and companies like mine, it's covered everywhere. So even if you had it in your car and it was stolen, that your personal property is covered there. It wouldn't be an auto claim. So it's typically, on vacation, you get stuff stolen or anything like that covered. Yeah, it comes with an automatic, usually it's a percentage based upon the value of the home of your contents. And it's always adjustable, so if you had a whole lot of stuff, you could raise it.
You were a diamond,
right?
The diamond king.
Yeah, and then you got to think about, when you think of your belongings, if you have high items, or a lot of people have an engagement ring, let's say, that's high value. There's limitations on personal property for things like theft. I always tell people, all your stuff is covered if it blows away in a tornado, or God forbid there's a fire. There's no limitations on things, but if there were a break-in, they may say, hey, we're not going to give hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry coverage without providing something special. So they limit jewelry, firearms, things like that for theft.
Do you need to have evidence of things you own?
So, no, but if it's something unusual, the company's going to want to. So if you say,
I have a $10,000 diamond ring that got,
and they're going to like,
lost.
wow, okay, that's a big item. Do you have a receipt? Can we talk to the? Or you can't just say I have a Monet painting. that burned up in my fire that was worth $250,000, they might be like, okay, we gotta figure out if that's
Okay. All right.
So I always tell people, if you have something that's unusual, antique, or high value, it's a good idea to have that documented, or take some photos, put them on your phone, or
Okay.
have a list of that.
That makes sense. All right. So here's a good one, Jason. We all, we buy our house, we throw our first holiday party, and my drunk uncle falls down and breaks his arm. What
Right.
happens now?
So, a couple of things can happen. We have homeowners policies have this interesting coverage called medical payments, and it's
Okay.
designed for, hey, let's try to help this person, especially if he's an uncle or a friend.
It's a family member or a friend.
We don't want them to sue you.
No, we do
So
not.
we're going to have this. Usually it's 5,000. I've seen them lower. 1,000. It used to be 1,000. An emergency room visit, or pay somebody's health insurance deductible, something like that. That we can write a check. No, we're not saying it's your fault hosting the party. We're not admitting liability, but it's a way that we can pay somebody without having a lawsuit or something liability.
to take care of their
around that.
medical.
Right. So he falls down, breaks an ankle, has to go to the ER. Hey, why don't we pick up that tab or the $2,500 deductible for your health insurance that you had to pay?
Got
And
it.
then he doesn't have any reason to sue his nephew.
Interesting. All righty. All right, here's a good one for you, Jason. Again, especially with first-time homeowners, they typically they probably have car insurance, auto insurance. Haven't really thought about homeowners. It's kind of it's part of the process that is we need to explain to people. But is it a good idea to bundle your? I assume it would be, but tell me how is it smart to bundle auto and home, things of that nature? Do you bundle?
Yeah, anytime you can put things together, typically most all companies have some sort of discount program for bundling things. So the more lines of business you have, for instance, with farmers, the more discounts you get. So auto home's the biggest, but umbrella, another discount. A boat, you're getting discounts on your auto, your home.
That makes sense.
All of those things. So they can all go together. And I think over the last decade, that's become even more prevalent, that there's bigger discounts for that, because it makes sense for me as a company to have all of it. There's no different companies involved if something happens. Let's say you run your car into your house, then you've got two companies involved, and you got some stuff like that. So companies like to have it all together, and it incentivizes also to have it all insured with one place too.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Lastly, what are some of the factors that a couple should consider or an individual should consider when choosing an insurance agent? What should they look for?
So
There's a lot of you guys out there.
there's a lot of companies, a lot of agents. There's a lot of availability online now.
Yes, there is.
So
Which I discourage, by the way.
it's very easy to go online and get a quote.
Yes,
However, without talking to somebody, you don't know if you've made the right selections. So you can pick and choose programs. There's at least somebody there to say, hey, this is available. By the way, you don't have sewer and drain water backup. Did you want that? This is what it does. So if you don't, that's fine, but I'm going to tell you what it is. So you're missing out on some advisement there. And then if you don't have somebody local, I love having a local person, whether it be somebody I can call on that I talk to the same person. If I buy online, I'm calling an 800 number, I'm in a queue, who knows, I'm talking to somebody in Cleveland, Ohio, I don't know. So having somebody local that you can call on, even if it's, should I make a claim? Is this something that's covered or should I not? Those kinds of things, it's hard to do on an 800 number. So go local, good service, people that answer their phone, that return phone calls, get you what you need. You get people get in a bind, they need something quick. and you need me to text you an ID card at the DMV or whatever the case may be, that's nice to have somebody that can respond quick.
I always even tell my own children, you want to know your insurance agent.
Yeah.
And you want them to grow up with you, or to watch you grow up as you develop, as you become a parent, an adult.
Yeah.
Because things change constantly.
Yeah.
And you want them to know that you're having a baby, or that you bought a new car, or what
I
have you.
I have customers that have kids that turn 16.
Right.
They want them to talk to me, and I'm telling them, look, this is what can happen when you drive
Serious
a car.
stuff, exactly.
And things like good grades and all of these other things that this really is a huge impact on your parents' costs of insurance.
Correct. Thank you for that.
Yes, yeah. So maybe I'm the bad guy, kind of put a little fear into them of these are real things that happen. People get in some serious situations driving an automobile. So
That's how it
yeah,
should be.
if you don't have that relationship, it's tough to do that.
Yeah,
That's what we try to do.
Not too sympathetic on the 800 number.
No.
All right, Jason, any final thoughts for us today? If not, no big deal.
Yeah, no. I think it's we always say we've got the ability to look at a piece of property before people buy and do some analysis and look at claims history on an address, or we can calculate what it's worth if you had to rebuild it, some different things like that. So we've got some tools that really complement the home buying process. So we're always here to help, and before you even move in. So
I was going to ask last question. How long does it take to get a homeowner's insurance quote?
I mean, we can turn one around pretty
Same day?
same. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'd like to have a little time, but
sure.
if we need to, we could get it done in an hour.
You know
right.
how this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, again, did you call? Do you have an insurance agent?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. All right, cool. Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that was fun.
We won't.
No.
Thank you for watching another episode of Mike's Your Man. I'm your host, Mike Maxon with Cinecells Real Estate. If you or someone you know would like to discuss the local real estate market, call or text me at 816-892-0788 or email MikesYourMan, KC@gmail.com. I hope our paths cross soon.